We're talking about mysterious monuments, and specifically, we're looking at the fact that there is a battle going on across this globe, and it has to do with illuminist architecture that has exploded across this nation, even the whole world. A few years ago, a top architect named John LaBelle was invited to speak at New York's occult organization, the Lucis Trust. And he said about architecture, he said, architecture is the battleground of the spirit. You wouldn't think so. Something made of wood or stone or glass is the battleground of the spirit. But that's what he informed people. He says that architecture can be used as a cultural instrument in world transformation. You can transform the world through architecture. You see, architecture is designed by luminous architects in the form of symbols. And a symbol can be used to mesmerize, hypnotize, indoctrinate, propagandize, and capture the souls of men. That's right. And it's the will, it expresses the will of the age. If you understand the architecture of a society, a culture, a nation, you'll understand what the people are like in that place. Did you know that? Oh, yeah. You go to India and study the temples of the Hindus, you'll then discover what the people of India are like, what their personality is like, what they believe, what they do, their conduct, their behavior. One of the top architects of the last century, an illuminist, of course, Mr. Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, said this. He said, architecture is the will of the age conceived in spiritual terms. Architecture is the will of the age conceived in spiritual terms. Architecture, strangely enough, possesses a will. Well, only beings, only entities possess a will, have will power. So these buildings, these architectural entities made of stone or glass or wood possess a spirit. Yes, they do. They do possess a spirit. A lot of people, when they enter a home or enter a place of business, they say, I have a feeling about this place. I don't feel good being here. You know, I believe that's true. Who are these people? Manly P. Hall, 33rd degree Mason, called the greatest Masonic scholar of the 20th century by the Scottish Rite Journal, the official publication of the Scottish Rite Masons, the largest order of Masons in the world, wrote, there exists in the world today, and has existed for thousands of years, a body of enlightened human beings united in what might be termed an order of the quest. It is composed of those whose intellectual and spiritual perceptions, wrote Mr. Hall, have revealed to them that civilization has a secret destiny. Secret destiny. Why don't they make it manifest? Why is it not visible? Well, it is in a way. It's visible in their architecture. You can see it. You can feel it. You can touch it. You can take a picture of it. A lot of people say, I don't believe in a conspiracy. Oh, I can show it to you in stone, in rock, in glass, in monuments, in idols. Hall also wrote, quote, architecture, he said, has remained a chosen instrument for the perpetuation of the grand design, the building of the perfect world. The perfect world. Perfect for them. Death and suffering and misery for you and me. Now, I want you to understand something, friends. Architecture is destiny. Architecture is prophecy. But it's more than that. It is of a spiritual nature. You say, Texe, can you prove that? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The Apostle Paul himself warned something. Read about this now. He said an idol is nothing in and of itself. It's simply something of wood or metal or stone. In and of itself, it's nothing. It's an inanimate object. It's just matter. But wait. There are devils behind it. Some years ago, there was a fad for what were called Cabbage Patch dolls. And every doll was just a little different than the one before it. And all the little kids went wild for these Cabbage Patch dolls. And each one came with a little card like a little birth certificate. And it had a name. And every doll had its own individual name. And someone wrote to me and said, Dear Texe, I've just discovered something. My little girl's Cabbage Patch doll is named Kali, K-A-L-I. And I was reading this book exposing Hinduism, and I found out that one of the major goddesses, the serpent goddess of Hinduism, is named Kali. And my little girl's Cabbage Patch doll is named Kali. Turns out that a great number of these Cabbage Patch dolls had Hindu goddess and god names. How did that happen? By the way, the Muslims, the spirit that controls Islam is found in the Mosque of Islam. The arch, the bulbous-like mosque dome. Oh, there's a meaning behind it. And then there's their symbol inside and over the door. Oh, they have symbols. They have idols. The Muslims say we're not like the Christians. We despise idolatry. Oh, they have their idols. Don't believe them. Yeah, Muhammad created idols for them. There is the crescent moon and the star. The crescent moon and the star. Study the ancient pagan religions. You'll know what those mean. And if you get my book, Mysterious Monuments, it'll tell you the meaning of the Islamic crescent moon and star. And did you know that every Muslim is encouraged to go to Mecca in Saudi Arabia, the city of Mecca, on a pilgrimage at least once in their life? And there is a great building called the Kaaba they must visit. And it is designed architecturally in a certain shape. And inside it is a black stone idol that they kiss as they walk by. They honor and adore an idol of a little black stone that they say fell from the heavens. What's that all about? I explain it in my book, Mysterious Monuments. Don't let any Muslim say, we have no idols of stone or wood or glass. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, indeed. Architecture, it reflects the spiritual system which reigns and is dominant in that culture. It has to. And if the architecture is of a satanic spiritual nature, that country will reflect it in its conduct and behavior. And that's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. Because design of architecture, it's designed to serve the spirit of man. Did you hear what I said? Famous architect talked about that very thing, a man named Louis Kahn. One of the most famous architects in the world today. I have several of his buildings, pictures of them in my book, Mysterious Monuments. One is a medical facility out of San Diego, near the town of La Jolla, California. Its design is inspired by Lao Tzu's Taoism. That's Taoism. A Chinese philosophy. The yin-yang symbol comes from there. The idea of equilibrium of energy forces. You remember the yin and the yang, don't you? The black and the white divided only by a backwards satanic S. In Kahn's architectural design there of this medical facility near La Jolla, you'll find these concentric circles, sort of like Tibetan mandalas. You'll find the 7 chakras of Hinduism reflected as well. And Kahn says, my building serves the spirit. You think it's just for people to go in there and get medical healing. Oh, no. The building in its design is designed to feed your soul. But what kind of poison is it feeding? That's the question. You see, in the Illuminist architectural scheme, architecture is of a divine or sacred nature. They even talk about sacred architecture. Sacred architecture. Let me tell you what Kahn says. Now remember, this is probably one of the top 5 architects in the world over the last centuries. He says, quote, and this is from page 44 of my book, Mysterious Monuments, Kahn writes, quote, in the end, the spirit of the building takes over. Takes over? He says a work is made. And when the dust settles, the pyramid, echoing silence of mind, gives the sun its shadow. That's so much gobbledygook. What does it mean? It means the yin-yang aspect is honored. The sun and its shadow. The pyramid and its sun rays. It becomes, said Mr. Kahn, a living entity. Yeah, that's right. Architecture, a building, a monument built by an illuminist, it is like a mystical entity. It's a robot. It's a living being. A robot. It's a bionic entity to them. Do buildings then, do monuments, do these illuminist creations possess occult powers? Can they bewitch or hex people who enter their space, their confines? Again, I ask you the question, dear friends, is there really a basis for the superstition that some call it about haunted houses and buildings? Can evil spirits inhabit matter? Well, there's a lot more evil spirits around today, I'll tell you that much. Just read the book of Revelation. You know, it reveals in the book of Revelation that at a certain time in man's destiny, at a certain time, and I believe we're there, an angel is sent with a key. This is a mystery. Think about it. Ponder this. This angel, this dark angel maybe, is sent with a key to a great pit. And he opens up the pit, and the door creaks open, and unleashed are 200 million devils in the last days. Now, it's bad enough that we've always had demon spirits on this planet, but according to the book of Revelation, there will come a time when God allows for 200 million devils to come up out of the pit. Legion. Many spirits. They're hungry for the souls of men, and they will possess those souls. Isn't that astonishing? The Bible says they have an angel or a being over them. He's like the general in charge. He's like more than a president or prime minister. He is in charge of these 200 million extra devils released on this planet in the last days. And he has a name.